Band in a Box 2008 is here with over 50 new features, including Real Tracks, Multistyles, Audio Chord Wizard enhancements, a medley maker, and much more. Here's an introduction to the exciting new features in Band in a Box 2008 with program creator and author Peter Gannon.
Hi, welcome to the Band in a Box 2008 demo. You're listening to a Real Tracks demonstration, and I'll take you through some of the new features in Band in a Box 2008. But if you can listen to that pedal steel part, you're listening to Real Tracks. You can see up on the top of the screen that the strings are lit up in green, and that means that these tracks are all MIDI, but this is strings. So let's listen to that pedal steel part. We turn them up a little bit. So that's one of the new features in Band in a Box is called Real Tracks. As we added real drums in version 2007, we've added some new ones called Real Tracks, which give you a real pedal steel part. We've also added real sax, which gives you a real tenor sax soloing part, and also real acoustic guitar, which gives you a real acoustic guitar chording part. But they'll play over any chord progression, as you can hear as he's about to do here. So we'll show you that and other features as we move along. To get the this effect heard on the pedal steel, what you'd need to do is choose Open and open up the file called equals C George P, and that's the name we've put for this song. The equal sign is a convention we use for Real Tracks, and then this is the name of the file. When you load it up, you'll see that strings are lit up, and that means that they are a pedal steel track. To generate it, just set it to one chorus, and then just generate the tracks like that. As you do it, you'll see the generating Real Tracks symbol on the screen, and then the part will play. Now make sure that you have a few things happening. Make sure that you have using DXI set to be true. The ideal tempo is around 85. Now we'll test out the real sax. You can load in the real sax demo, and to do saxophone, because it's a solo part, it doesn't come with a style, although this one happens to have real drums with it. That's nothing to do with real sax. So you would press the soloist button, and then you would find a soloist number 361, which is real sax. You might not see there at the bottom of your screen, and then we will press generate to generate a solo. And now you can hear the sax solo. So that sounds like a real sax, because it is actual real recordings of a sax player put together into solo over whatever chords you type. And it's on the soloist here, and you can turn it down and that sort of thing. And here's a demo of the acoustic guitar real pedal steel. So this is a stereo recording of real acoustic guitar soloing. And we've turned it up intentionally in this demo. So that's C George G. The Audio Chord Wizard has been enhanced. This is version 3 of the Audio Chord Wizard, and the main enhancement you can see is down here. Is you get a full chords window, and so you can see an entire lead sheet happening. So as with other versions, you play it by just playing on the screen here, and then you can mark this as bar 1 of the song, and then as it's playing you can tap bar lines by hitting F8 or the Enter key. every time there's a bar. And then you'll notice it's lining up. So now you see as we're doing this, now we can just click anywhere on the screen here and the song will play from this point. Now let's say we felt that this was a new part of the song here. So we can now put a part marker here, and that divides this into here. And if we had decided, for example, that this was the new part, it would start a new line here. So it would nicely divide our song into sections with lines between them, so that these are easily discernible sections of the song. And so this is very helpful to learn pop tunes in particular, and because you can just say, let's hear what this sounds like. Say, well, that's a new section, so we'll put it like that. And all of the features that were in the previous audio chord wizard are up here. You can move bar lines around, etc. And when you do, let's say you were here and then you hit a new bar line, you'll notice that it recalculates all the bar lines for you. They turn gray very briefly, the chords, as it's calculating the music. But you can also use you can use the scroll bar to scroll through the song and that sort of thing. And we're using quite a small resolution screen here, 800 by 600, but you probably have a higher resolution than that, and you're going to see a whole lot of bars per screen, typically the whole song, and you can get more bars per screen like this, and you can zoom in out of the top layer here, and at the bottom of the screen you can change the height of the chords and the number of bars you want per row. You could have 6 bars per row or 8 bars per row, that sort of thing. And so it's configurable in that way. Another major feature in Band in a Box 2008 is the ability to have multi-styles. If you notice, there's a plus at the end of that, and that's our naming convention for if a style has a multi-style in it. So now if you load this song, you'll see that it's got A, B, C, and D on it. And if we do this, the part markers, you see they cycle between A, B, C, and D. So what we have here is the A and B are normally the usual verse and chorus. C is what we call a pre-chorus or an intro type of sound, and D is something that you'd use in an interlude. So let me turn off the real drums for a second so we can hear it in the MIDI. Might be more noticeable to you, and we can just play the style, and these styles, any style that is a multi-style is going to play 4 different substyles. So here's your intro style. Let's turn it up a bit. Very useful for a country ballad because you get the pre-chorus intro, and now you get the first A section. Now we're going to have a third substyle coming up at bar 17. And now section D will even be a different style. You can see this is used for the break. Now you can also set the substyles by just right-clicking and choosing the one that you want. But this is saying A, B, C, and D. And you can easily make your own substyles by going into the Style Maker and taking any style and saying that this particular style, we'll just add a multi-style to it, and all you need to do is specify another style name, and that will be tagged onto it. It'll be a multi-style, so you'll have A, B, C, and D. And so it's as easy as that to make a multi-style. In fact, it's even easier than that. If you had another song in like this that just has 2 substyles on it, you could say that you want more. you can make any substyle to be a multi-style just by saying define C and D, and I would like this KG ballad song to be a multi-style, and then this song, not the whole style, but this song now has A, B, C, and D on it. And you could just click A, B, C, and D, and then when you click D, you would be on to KG ballad, and if you were on A, you would be on this one. And you can keep going to create up to 24 substyles on a song. So if you have 5 favorite country styles, you can make them all into one multi-style, and you can just go back and forth between the substyles very easily. Now I'll just briefly mention some of the other features in the program. You can have changes of real drums at any bar now. By using the edit settings bar dialog, you can choose the particular style that you wanted to hear, and then there would be a change of real drums at that style. Another thing you might notice just in the dialog is that themes are supported. So we've set our theme to Windows XP, so that means that the style of the buttons and everything are going to be as they are in as whatever the theme you have set, and that'll affect everything in Band in a Box. You'll also notice that we can change a key signature now at any bar, and if you do that, the notation will show up with a new key signature at the bar that you've said. So if you're doing a song with key signature changes, that's very useful. Another thing is there's all kinds of volume changes that you can do at any bar. You could, all instruments, you could say mute, or you could say I'd like all instruments beginning at this bar should be fading by 5 per bar at that point, etc. And even more useful is that you can say this should happen for all choruses, or you should say it only in the third chorus would I like the bass player to mute himself at this point, and then at bar 2 of the third chorus the bass would mute, and then you could go to bar 10 at chorus 3 and say he should now be playing back to normal. We have a new feature called the Medley Maker, and let me just clear out this song. And the Medley Maker allows you to make a medley, and so you go in here and you say just start adding the songs that you'd like to see in your medley. Let's say we wanted to pick a few songs from Styles disc number 3, so you say Caribbean, and after that I would like country rock. After that, I would like this one, and but now I've decided that this one should be moved up into this order, and it'll when you press play, it'll automatically make a demo of make a medley of these. But even better than that, it will insert transition bars, which means that this is in the key of C, this is in the key of E flat. It will intelligently make transition bars to go between them. So I've just picked these tunes at random, and then it will generate a medley of those. So here's our medley here, and we can just start playing it. I think we started off with Caribbean style, and let's get down to where it's going to change. Notice these are real drums playing, and they're going to do real drum style changes. Now here's our transition. New key. New tempo. Now we're into our funk style, and so we've made a medley. It's using real drums. We've got transition bars, and we've got 1 to 76 for the whole song. So that's a medley maker. On a similar theme to the medley maker is an import song. If you've got one song and you want to add another song to it, you can just select the song that you want, and then it will add it to your existing song, and you can choose various options about how you wanted it added in. New feature called section paragraphs. You may have noticed these lines between the sections, and another feature about it, for example, this says what a section is. Let's say you had an unusual section that was 7 bars long and you put one there. It's going to divide these into sections of 7 bars, and then the 8th section will start there. So a new section always starts there. So at a glance you can tell that this song has 7 bars in it, and in the first section, and then happens to have 9 bars in the second section. Yet everything always lines up nicely, because if you have otherwise if you had a song with 7 bars and then a bunch of 8-bar sections, you'd lose the sort of the symmetry of the song, just because it had 1 extra bar. And these features are configurable in the display options, so that you could say, if you, for example, didn't want a new line for every section, or you didn't want any space between them, you would just turn that off, and then it would be back to how it used to be. The style packer has been enhanced in a few different ways. It allows you to, the main thing is when you rebuild the styles, you'll see other category called Other Styles Found, and that will automatically scan your directory and find any style that we didn't know about, maybe that you just made, or you purchased from a third party and it wasn't otherwise located. So it'll just be searched, and it'll be these things will be filled in. There won't be a memo or examples filled in, but the other ones should be filled in correctly for it, so then you can search for it and find it like any other styles. The real drums have been enhanced, and there's a lot of new real drums available. I believe 11 new discs, but another feature we have is favor artists. So we've have some artists styles discs, and then you can sometimes they do the exact same style that somebody else has done, because there's only so many ways you can do jazz swing. And then you can say that if I do have artists as well, that I always want the artists to take precedence over the regular styles, that real drum styles, never, sometimes, which would be about 50%, or randomly changing every time you press play, and that's an artist feature. There's a feature called section dragging, which if you just let me press stop there. If you drag on a bar number, you can drag to another place, and then it will copy and insert. So now we have 3 section Bs, or if I wanted another section C, I would just drag that there, and we'd have another section. Or if I dragged it to here, then it would copy those 2 bars and insert them there, so we'd have those 2 bars repeated. And if I hold down the control key when I do this, then I'll have all sorts of options, and the default option, which would be to overwrite the chords at the destination, so we can have both of those options appear. So those are quite useful. Or if you just wanted to do these 3 chords, you can drag these 3 chords down to here, and then you'll have 3 chords inserted down there. There's an easy fade out function, and if you just want your song to fade out at the end, you just say give me 8 bars of fade, or just press that and it'll give you automatically 6 bars of fade, and then the whole band will fade out for the very last 6 bars of the tune. There's a find files feature. Find file is very useful because you can find any file easily on either on the hard drive, and it'll produce a huge list of them. But more interestingly, you can just say any file that have the word trumpet anywhere in the file name, or more interestingly, any file that has the word trumpet anywhere in the text. So this will search the BB folder for BB songs. It can also search other locations, and then you'll say, because I'm a trumpet player, I'm of course interested in songs that have trumpet in them, and all these songs have trumpet in them, somewhere in the style name. So then you would, or in the memo, or anything about them. And or you could say I'm interested in guitar, and then you're going to see songs that have guitar in them, and you can see many styles have the word guitar in them, and then you can just spend your time studying that, or load one of them in, or search for a new topic, reggae. And you might not have normally known that this Madonna M style has reggae, or some of the others, Tropics at the Beach, etc. So you're going to find many songs. And then you, nice thing, this dialog remembers itself, so when you come back, even after a next session, it's going to be there, so the reggae lover can come back and to his favorite list of reggae songs. The file open dialog now works with all file types: ERMGUs, MIDI files, karaoke files, WAV files, MP3, WMA, and there's a new file format that we support, which is the karaoke window, which is CDG karaoke files, which is a specific format that shows more or less a video of the lyrics of the song playing. There's a lot of other features in Band in a Box that I'll just mention briefly. That the tempo of the song is set. When you do a file new, it's now set based on the style, not on automatically setting things to 140. It picks a style, the tempo that's at the average of the previous, the average that the style would normally use. So if you had a sort of a slower style like Miami Rock and did that would be 120 instead of 140, and if you had a slower style, it's going to set it to a more appropriate tempo for that. If you want to edit these chords, you can edit current chord. Another way to do that is to do Control F2 will allow you to edit the chord. So just by pressing that, you can get the chords edited. So if I just had a chord here like A7th, I just hit Control, and then I can just type in anything extra that I wanted in there, like F7th, and the chords would get entered like that. So that's it for our quick run through of some of the new features. Here we are again hearing the pedal steel playing over some jazz chord changes.